Why are smart guys cowards? Simple. Because smart guys can see all the angles. Smart guys can see the potential effects or the potential outcomes of any given situation, right? And they're smart enough to realize the odds. Yeah. I mean, like, how many smart guys do you know buy lottery tickets? Not many, right? In fact, some smart people have said that lottery tickets, the lottery system in general, you know, the lotto and 6-ball jackpot, whatever, they have said that it's actually a tax on stupid people. Yeah, because a smart guy is never gonna make a bet that he knows he's gonna lose. Of course not. And so, since he is not going to make a losing bet, a lot of times, in a lot of situations where the likelihood of success is not high, what's the smart guy going to do? He's going to refrain from doing it. Yeah, he's not going to take a chance because he's going to look at the situation coolly and dispassionately and use his superior brain power to figure out, you know, the odds are against this working out, so I'm not going to do it. Yeah, but then see, the problem becomes that whenever there's a little bit of risk, even if it's relatively manageable risk, the smart guy will not take the leap of faith. He'll not risk it. He will, you know, look at the odds and decide not to do it, and it becomes a habit. It becomes a habit of the smart guy. And the smart guy says no to one situation where the odds are, say, maybe 40% likelihood of failure, and then he says no when it's 30%, and then when it's 20%, and he winds up saying no to everything. Yeah, because he can see the outcome. He can see how the risk might not be worth the reward. And so he gets into the habit of being cowardly. Because cowardice is a habit, okay? You're cowardly in one little thing, and more likely than not, you'll be cowardly in the next little thing. Just as if you're brave in one thing, no matter how small or humble or trivial, you gain from the experience and are brave in the next situation, which might be bigger, which might be a lot bigger, which might be a lot more important. See? That's what happens to smart guys. They've always played it safe because they see what's going on, and when it comes to the big decisions, they're too afraid to take the leap. Now, of course, in this video, I'm not shitting on smart guys. Of course not. I'm assuming that most people watching this are smart guys, right? And so I'm saying this so that you who are smart recognize a blind spot that you might have. Yeah, because most smart guys who are cowards don't realize that they're cowards and don't realize the source of their cowardice. Let me explain. See, growing up, there was this guy I knew, a guy called Paul. Okay, he was a classmate of mine, and he's one of the smartest guys I ever met. I mean, just really fucking brilliant. Just, IQ points off the charts, right? And, he always played it safe in everything that he did. Yeah, he could see the negative possibilities of any given situation. And so that's why he would always pick the safest course of action. He went and got an MBA like a good little boy and studied economics and like a good little boy and got like a good job at a good corporation. And he always played it safe, super fucking safe. In his business or his career, because he never had a business, because he was smart. He knew that businesses are often as not fail, so it's smarter to join a corporation. And he played it safe in his personal life by marrying the right girl. Oh yeah, he married like the primo perfect right girl. Yeah, and he played it safe with, well, frankly, everything, even his friendships. He would only be friends with the guys who were like stable, low risk. He wasn't really friends with me. No, I mean, I thought we were, and I actually talked about once how he fucking sort of like betrayed me. But you see, when he sort of betrayed me, it was the smart decision. It was the smart move on his part. See? It's not that he betrayed me, okay? I'm exaggerating, but the point remains. See, that when I needed him as a friend, he made the cool, hard calculation that there was too much risk in being my friend. And so he took the smart route, the safe route, the cowardly route. You know, the funny thing about Paul, yeah, because we all keep in touch, right? Now, the guy, his career is over, yeah, because he kept on playing it safe in everything that he fucking did and nobody fucking trusted him anymore. Yeah, he kept playing it safe all the time. And so nobody trusts him in the business world. So he's sort of like out of the picture. He has, he got a golden parachute. He got a lot of money, actually, yeah, from his corporate career, because he climbed the ladder and became the CFO of a very large corporation. But eventually he was pushed out because he wasn't trusted. He wasn't believed in, because he was so smart that he always played it safe instead of making some risks, taking risks, joining with the others in a great adventure and seeing what happens, even if it was failure. He never accepted failure because he was too smart, and so he was always a coward. And so because people recognized at some inarticulate level that he was a coward, they didn't want to be around him. And so he was pushed out of his corporate job with a golden parachute, and the same thing happened with his marriage. His marriage, he married the safe girl, and what did the safe girl do? She cheated on him. Oh yeah, cheated on him and ran off. Yeah, because he always played it safe. Yeah, he was too chicken shit to, go for broke, go for what he really wanted, because he didn't even want the woman he married. He just thought that she was the safe pick. Just as he didn't want the career that he had, he thought it was the safe pick, the smart pick. And when it came time to be my friend and support me, he didn't, because it was the smart move. And it was the smart move, but of course, now I despise him. And now he doesn't have my friendship. And if he'd taken a risk with my friendship, if he'd taken a risk by starting his own business as opposed to being a corporate cog, if he'd taken a risk by marrying not the right girl, but a girl who actually cared about him, well, his life would have been happy. And his life is not happy. He surrounded himself with material possessions and toys and such. He's got a lot of money, yeah. But nobody likes him. Nobody believes in him. That's the thing. That's the tragedy of the guy. See? And he's a coward. Yeah. And it's easy for the smart guy to fall into this trap. It's so fucking easy. Okay? And it's so fucking easy to fall into the trap of playing it safe, minimizing risk, and eventually acting like a coward all the time. It's easy to spot these guys who are doing this. Oh yeah. You know how you spot them? Because they're so goddamn witty. Yeah, in my experience, I've noticed that at least these guys who are like really smart guys who are cowardly, they're really fucking funny. Yeah, they are brilliantly funny. Yeah, but their humor is cutting. It cuts and belittles the object of their humor. Oh yeah, because what they're trying to do is that, see, they're eyeing the guy who's got the balls to make a move, to try, who's got the balls and is ignoring the risk and is just going ahead anyway, regardless of the risk. And that's the guy that they shit on. That's the guy they cut. That's the guy that they, in their hearts, despise. They despise him because he's got the balls, he's got the gumption, he's got the nerve, And maybe he's not as smart as the smart guy. Yeah, maybe he's not as smart, but he's got courage, which is, in the long run, more important. See, when I was young, I thought that all you needed was brains. You had enough brains, and the whole of existence would magically come together. All you needed was IQ points. That's what I thought when I was young, when I was stupid, of course. Because back when I was younger than I am now, I'm 51, but back when I was 20, I probably had more IQ points than I have now. I can feel myself being slower and dumber, yeah? But I remember back when I was 20, when I had more IQ points, I was dumber. Because I actually believed that brains, that being smart, that having a high IQ score was all that I needed to have a great life. And I'm here to tell you, that's not the case at all. What you need for a great life is balls. That's right. Courage. Willing to take the risk and willing to go after the things that you really want, irrespective of how smart the decision might be or how dumb the decision might be. A lot of times, the dumbest decisions you take are the most important ones. Yeah, going for the things that you really want In my own case, I really wanted to be a writer for reasons that retrospectively were a little bit foolish, but that's not the point. When I finished college, I really wanted to be a writer, and it was a bad decision. I had a lot of better options. I could work at an investment bank. I could pursue a PhD in history. I had offers and the opportunities to do these things, but instead, I decided to, take my fate in my hands and go to Hollywood and try to make it as a writer. It was an insane decision, a high-risk decision. The likelihood of success was measured in single percentage points. That's what I did. And the thing is, see, I succeeded. And even though it turned out later that, being a writer full-time was not really what I wanted out of life, that's not the point. The point is, see, I had the balls to do it. A lot of people said it was foolhardy, but now I realize it was balls. It took balls, and I'm thankful that I had the balls at the time to do that. And that's why now I can tell you that IQ points do not matter. It's the grams of your balls. How many grams do your balls measure? How much do they weigh? That is what matters more. Don't fall into the trap of measuring risk. Don't fall into the trap of always and in every situation figuring out where the pitfalls are and deciding based on that you're not going to make a decision. I am not saying close your eyes and just leap forward and hope for the best. No, I'm not saying that, okay? In everything, you have to use your fucking brains and figure out the best approach, the best strategy, how to minimize the risks of whatever you're doing. Of course, I'm saying that, but what I am saying, and more to the point, is this. You see, don't allow a cost-benefit analysis, a risk assessment, to steer you away from the right decisions of your life. Because it's so easy, if you're smart, to fall into that trap. It is so fucking easy to fall into the trap of turning away from the things that you want and going for the safe things just because you recognize that the thing that you really want is harder to achieve. Okay? I mean, how can I put it? It's something that frightens me a little bit insofar as young people, smart people, because I've seen over the decades so many smart guys who've sort of ruined their lives by this. I talked to you about Paul, right? And how I think that he kind of fucked up his life and is sort of a bitter and stunted man because he played it so safe throughout his life, right? But guys like Paul, I know hundreds of guys like Paul, and I'm talking literally hundreds of guys like Paul, okay? Smart, capable men who played it safe. I remember when I was working at this law firm in DC in 1992, I believe, right? Wilmer Cutler Pickering. I don't know what it's called now. I think it's Wilmer Hale. But anyway, back in the day at Wilmer Cutler Pickering, right? There were all these lawyers, partners, brilliant minds. I mean, really, really sharp customers. And they all hated being lawyers. It's the reason I decided not to go to law school. Yeah. I worked 6 months at this fucking law firm, right? And I talked to these partners and these lawyers, and they all hated being a lawyer. They all hated what the life of a corporate lawyer really was. They hated it, but they couldn't do anything about it. It was too late for them. Yeah? And even when it wasn't too late for them, they were smart enough to see the risks of changing careers, and so they didn't do it. They didn't do it. They were smart enough to recognize that they could change, but their brains paralyzed them. Their IQ points were like cement on their destiny. You say you're smart? Okay, then use your fucking brains. Yeah, use your fucking brains and recognize this. Recognize how brains can make you a coward. IQ points can turn you into a guy who does not take the risks that you need to take in order to have a successful life. Because see, this is the thing that you have to understand. In your life, the things that you really want, they're all high risk. But they are high risk when you look at it from the outside. When you're in it and you apply those brains and you make wise decisions, more often than not, what happens is that the likelihood of failure begins to decline and the likelihood of success begins to rise, precisely because you're using your brain power to achieve a better result, to look at what's going on and not be beholden to what other guys before you did, but rather, trying to figure out, well, if it didn't work in the past, maybe how can I make it work now? You see what I mean? Using your brains constructively. Recognize something else about failure, something that smart guys, oddly enough, don't seem to understand, but stupid guys who have failed a lot understand intuitively. And it's this: the more you try and fail, and yet still get up and try again, the more likely you'll eventually succeed. In life, you don't have to succeed all the time. You don't have to succeed all the time, or even most times. No, to have a successful life, you only need to succeed once. That's all. Just the one time. Just the one time where you get the thing that you want. And you'll find that the one success that you have, and everything comes together. And you don't have to worry about shit. No, not anymore. It just comes together and done. But see, smart guys don't see this. Smart guys have spent their entire lives succeeding, right? They succeeded in school, they succeeded in college, they succeeded in their first job, they succeeded as they start to climb up whatever ladder they were on, if it was a corporate job or maybe a business of their own or whatever. Yeah, the smart guy always succeeds, and so he becomes terrified of failure. But failure is your friend. That's why the dumb guys who have experienced failures, they've experienced it in elementary school, in high school, in college, in their first jobs, they've experienced failure and so they become inured to it. Don't be dumb. Don't be dumb. If you're so fucking smart, don't be dumb. Don't be dumb and always play it safe. Be smart.